Hello and welcome back to Get Great at Maths. I'm here to help you pass your maths exam, so hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to look at keywords, key formulas and how to gain top marks. So let's get ready to get great at maths. This is a question on fractions. You're given four fractions, 7/8, 1/5, 3/4 and 8/10. And you've got to work out the fractions in order, starting with the least, where the least goes on the left hand side and then it gets in order here, and this will give you 1 mark in the exam. So your key facts, you need to find your common denominator. Now the denominator is the number at the bottom of the fraction, so you've got to work out what number does 8, 5, 4 and 10 all go into. You've then got to write all fractions with the same denominator, so you've got to work out what your common denominator is and then write all the fractions with that same denominator. And then you've got to order them from smallest to largest. Now this word here, least, means the smallest. So you're starting with the smallest, which means you're going up to the biggest, or from the smallest number to the largest fraction. And you've got to use the original fractions that you got here in the answer box here. If you do use equivalent ones, then you will still be marked correct, but it is good practice for GCSE to get in the habit of writing down the original fractions that you got in the answer box here. Press pause, have a go at working out your equivalent fractions and ordering them, and then work out what your answer is. When you've got yourself an answer, press play when you're ready to hear the answer. Great work. Hopefully you've managed to write down what these fractions are in the correct order. So make sure you grab yourself a pen and paper to write down what you're doing as you go along. Remember, you can pause the video at any point you need to. So we're going to start off by looking for our common denominator. So we're looking at these numbers and we can see they are all even. So that means our denominator will be even. Now, the number it's going to go into has got to end in a 0 because it's got to be in the 10 times table. So we've got 10, 20. If we think about the next one, 20, 4 and 5 both go into 20, which is a good sign, which means we're going to be going up in 20s because 10 doesn't go into this number here. So if I do 30, 4 wouldn't fit into 30. So we've got 20. Then if you think we can't do 30 because 4 won't fit into it, then we're going to go to 40. So we know 4 and 5 will go into 40. Does 8 go into 40? Yes, it does. So I found my lowest common denominator. So the lowest common denominator is 40. You can think that 4 goes into 8, 5 goes into 10. So then that will help you work out what your denominators are because these numbers go into each other. So the lowest common denominator is 40. So we're going to start off with this first fraction. We've got to make the denominator 40, so you've got to think, what do I times 8 by to get 40? And the answer is 5. So we've got to do the same to top and bottom, so the numerator and the denominator. So 7 times 5 is 35, which will be my numerator over here. 8 times 5 is going to give me 40, so I've got 35 over 40. I do the same to the top number as well as the bottom number in order to get my new fraction. All the denominators need to be 40 before I can order them down here. The next one, I've got a denominator of 5 and now I want to make it 40, so I'm going to multiply both of them by 8. I should really have an arrow going from both of the numbers, but I've shown you in full working here, so I've just put times 8 because I'm going to run out of room to write all these fractions. So we're going to times the top number by 8, so 1 times 8 is 8. 5 times 8 is 40, so my answer is 8 over 40. So far, this one is the smallest, because 8 over 40 is smaller than 35 over 40. The next one here, we've got 3/4. So 4 goes into 40 10 times, so we're going to do times by 10. So we've got to multiply both numbers by 10. 3 times 10 is 30. 4 times 10 is 40, giving me 30 over 40. The next one here, the denominator is 10. To make the 40, I've got to times by 4. So I'm going to do the same to both numbers. So 8 times 4 is 32 and 10 times 4 is 40, leaving me with 32 over 40. Now I've got these new fractions here, I've got to work out which of these is the least, which is the smallest. So this one here is the smallest number. 8 is the smallest number out of 8, 35, 30 and 32. So 8 is going to go first. So 8 over 40 is first. but we're going to write the original fraction, which is 1/5. So this fraction here is going to come down here. The next smallest number after 8 is the number 30. So the next fraction I'm going to write down is 3/4. So 30 over 40 is the same as 3/4, so I'm going to write 3/4. Remember, we write down the original numbers or the original fractions that were given in the answer box down here. Now it's between these two here. So we've used these first two here, so it's between 32 and 35. The next smallest or the next least is 32. So that means the 8 over 10 is going to get written here. And the largest one is the 35, which means we're going to write down the 7 over 8 over here. This is the correct order that you need to write them in to get the full mark in the exam. Give yourself a big tick if you got that correct. Well done. The mark scheme shows the fractions in the correct order. This will give you 1 M or 1 method mark in the exam. If you found this video useful, please share, like and subscribe so we can all get great at maths. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Please follow Get Great at Maths on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and X. What do you want to see next on Get Great at Maths? Please comment below. See you next time.